Hello and welcome to another Royal Reviewer live weekly chat. We are live and it is the first show of 2019. I have to keep stopping myself from saying 2018. Yes, it is 2019. It is the first show of Talk of the Crown, my live weekly chat about the British royal family, which I do every single week. And believe it or not, it is week 38 of my show, my rebranded show, Talk of the Crown. I did do lots of previous live chats weekly before I rebranded it, but this is 38 episodes of Talk of the Crown. My goodness. I hope you've all had a fabulous Christmas and a really, really happy start to the new year. This is my first week back after a week off, so I'm really excited. There hasn't been a lot in terms of royal engagements going on. It is the Christmas period. We've only seen one royal engagement really from Prince Charles so far. The Queen, of course, is still on holiday at Sandringham. So I'm going to kind of leave, I have a few notes, but I'm going to kind of leave this to you guys. Whatever you want to talk about, royal, non-royal, whatever it is, I will take any questions. I do have a few things I want to go through. First of all, as always, I will go and find the chat room and I will set it to live chat, not top chat, because I want to see exactly what everyone's saying. Lots of people in the room already. And I'm going to start with the first comment by Scott Goff, who says, his favourite or fake news video of the week goes to Prince Philip demands DNA test. Really? I've not heard this one. After Diana's daughter turns up at Buckingham Palace. I know the story. This is an old one with like a made-up girl that was that people were pretending was some kind of long-lost daughter. It is a complete load of fake news. You are quite right. It gets a fan flap. Yeah, totally 100% fake. Hello to everyone who has said hello. Sorry, I don't have the time to go through literally everybody. Let's go down to when I popped up and then read what you're all saying. Okay, lots of people saying Happy New Year. Okay, hang on. Right, I think I'm down the bottom. If you type something earlier that was really, really important, please type it again, and I will read it from this point onwards. Okay. Alicia says, do I know when the Duchess of Sussex's next engagement is? I haven't checked the court circular. The court circular and also the engagement calendar part of the official British Royal website is where you can look up any engagements. I haven't done that. I've been incredibly busy with all New Year's stuff, de-Christmasing the house. I have, if you've seen my weekly vlog, I did a present haul. I have been given a beautiful Filofax, old-fashioned handwritten note, Filofax organizer, planner, whatever you want to call it, for Christmas. I am going to go through the engagement part of the diary, and I'm going to fill it up with all of the latest royal engagements. I haven't done that yet. I have been incredibly busy. So no, I am not entirely sure when the next engagement is. But I will do, because I'm going to fill up my engagement calendar. I've already put in all the royal birthdays. I've done that. I've gone through the whole calendar and transferred things over. So I know when all the birthdays are, but I haven't done the engagements yet. There is still time to put that in because they aren't back yet. Apart from Prince Charles, who was out and about this week with the centenary service of Her Majesty's Yacht Lolaire. And I hope I've said that correctly. And of course, he did this engagement whilst he was up in Scotland as part of his Hogmanay New Year's celebrations. So I hope you watched the video on that. Laurie Clark says, do I think Queen Elizabeth II may give up some patronages, specifically to give to Meghan to ease her into that whole process? Yes, I think she's gearing up for another round of giving up some of her patronages. But I don't think she's going to specifically give any to Meghan. I think what usually happens is the royals themselves, the Queen's children, and of course her grandchildren, the working royals will probably get to look at her whole portfolio of I think it's near enough 600 patronages at the moment. And I think they will look through themselves and kind of see what best fits. And I think we've seen that with Catherine, with Evelina London, and of course, Meghan with the Royal Variety Charity. They fit perfectly. So I think the royals themselves will kind of go through this vast kind of list and kind of suggest ones that they might be interested in. And then I think those will be considered by the Queen and obviously approved or disapproved, depending upon which ones the Queen herself wishes to continue with. But I do think we will see at some point in the year another step back from the Queen, which I think is a good thing. I think that's a good thing. We need to look after the Queen. And I think if she gives up 25 like she gave up last time, I think that's probably not enough. I'd like to see her give up 100. I'd like to see her split 100 charities up between the whole working royals. But I don't know if we're going to see that. We will have to wait and see. But like I say, I think the royals kind of look at the portfolio and suggest ones that they might be interested in, which they think is going to be a good fit. Dreamcast says, I didn't mention Meghan's first solo outing with the Queen last year. There were so many highlights. When I was going through the royal year, there were so many highlights. I couldn't literally put everything in. That was another incredible moment. The Queen's first solo outing with Meghan was something to remember and something special. But no, I didn't put it into that particular list. But there were just so many different separate engagements that were either landmark engagements or just ones that were really, really fun. But yes, that was a really fun one. Charlotte P says, if the media intrusion got too much, could Harry give up his title and claim to the throne? What would the consequences of this? Well, for a start, I don't think he's ever going to renounce any titles or claim to the throne. I don't think that you can exclude yourself from the line of succession. I think if it came to you and you didn't want it, you'd have to abdicate. I think that would be the way out. I don't think you can necessarily exclude yourself. You could in the past by strategically marrying a Catholic, because then of course you would have been excluded from that. But nowadays you can marry a Catholic if you want. So no, I don't think he can necessarily renounce his place in the line. That's not been done. I don't think it has any legal basis. I think the legal way around it would be to abdicate if ever it fell on him to become king, which is very unlikely to happen, going by his place in the line of succession. So no, I don't really think he can. And of course, that would be a matter for government to look at if he did express a wish of doing so. There would have to be a law change. Monroe Taylor says, did the royals ever find out who was leaking the news of a fight between the Fab Four? No, because there wasn't a fight between the Fab Four. So they can't have found anybody because it wasn't true. It's fake news. So no, because it was fake. When do I think Meghan is going to give birth? Well, we need to look at the indicators here. So we were told officially when the pregnancy was announced, it was going to be sometime in the spring. So we definitely know it's pegged somewhere in the spring. Now, spring, it's like any other season, spans round about 3 months, 3 to 4 months. So somewhere in spring, going by the date of the announcement, going by the fact that usually the royals would announce at the first trimester. That doesn't work out with Catherine because obviously of Catherine's extreme morning sickness. But Meghan, we think, was the first trimester, roughly round about the start of the Australian tour. And also we had the clue with the ring, the ring that she wore in Australia, the birthstone ring, Harry's birthstone, Meghan's birthstone, and the one in the middle, which we think represents baby Sussex, which was diamond, which represents April. April is a month in spring. So I'm thinking it's got to be April. And to get a birthstone ring already made, some people are speculating the end of March, but I think to get a birthstone ring made with a diamond in the middle, you would have to be pretty sure that it's going to be in April. So I'm guessing it's not around the perimeters of April. So I don't think it's March into April or April into May. I think it's probably pegged somewhere quite squarely in April. So I'm thinking I'm going to hedge my bets on mid-April or thereabouts, you know, probably from, I don't know, what would be a safe bet? Probably from the 8th of April onwards, I think would be quite a safe bet on that one. But who knows? Babies can come early, babies can come late. Babies can be induced on set days. We don't know. Museum Freak says, love the flag. Thank you so much. Hi to Pam G. Master of Public Health says, discussion point. Can you give a tutorial on the components of a royal high tea? Oh, that's a credit. In fact, I do have lots of things that I would like to do in the coming year, and food is one of them. That is one of the things that I am really hoping to get a chance to do. I know, you know, baking and cooking certain royal recipes or British foods are things that I definitely want to do. A royal high tea. I still have the teas, the loose teas that was bought for me from the Amazon wish list, which I still want to show in a proper loose tea pot. You can buy loose teapots, and I want to do a proper English or royal high tea. So that is something I would definitely like to do. There is a debate, of course, with high tea as to whether you put the jam on first or the cream on first. So I'll probably be going into all of that. But yes, baking, cooking, British food is definitely something which I'd like to do. Kevin says, has it been determined if the Sussex baby will be a HRH or a lord or a lady? Right. I spoke about this a few times, but we'll address it again, seeing as I think it appeared in a separate video on YouTube this week. But I have already made a whole video on this, I think. I'm sure I have. Roughly when the baby was first announced, I think I made this video. So technically, Harry, we have to wait basically until Prince Charles is king. Think of it this way. I'm trying to put it really simply. When Charles is king, Harry and William are both the sons of a king, a monarch. The Queen changed the royal rules, let's put it really simply, to allow William's children to be HRH and princes and princesses. It wasn't the case before the Queen changed the rules, but the rules were not changed for the second son of the Prince of Wales. Changed for the first, which was William and his line, but not Harry. So the Queen, when baby Sussex is born, has got one or two choices. She can either change the rules again to include all children of the Prince of Wales. All of his grandchildren shall be princes and princesses and HRHs. Or she can do nothing. If she changes the rules, then they will be HRH and prince or princess. If she doesn't change the rules, they will be styled lord or lady. And if it's a boy, the boy will be able to, maybe it's probable, take on one of Harry's secondary titles as a courtesy title, which can be done. So we're expecting probably lord or lady, well, whatever first name they choose, of Sussex, unless the Queen changes the rules. But as soon as Charles becomes king, then they automatically become HRH and prince or princess, whatever, of Sussex. I hope I put that really simply. So it all depends upon what the Queen decides to do. The ball is very much firmly in her court. Breakout 1 says, I very much like Edward, Sophie and family. I always perk up when Lady Louise makes... I love Lady Louise. She's adorable and she's growing up so quickly. She's tall. She's taller than Sophie. Yes, she's a lovely young lady, and so is James, Viscount 7, and they are a really lovely family unit. I do really appreciate them as a family unit. Anita, oh my goodness, what a question. How many royals are there? The descendants of Queen Elizabeth II are quite something. If you go down the family tree, there is quite a large number to count. If we're talking working royals, then that's a better bet. We have the Queen's cousins, we have the Queen's children, the Queen's grandchildren through Prince of Wales, and that's it. That's the working royals that we have currently. Book Princess says, what jewelry do I wear today? I'm quite light on jewelry today. I just have this one simple Duchess of Cambridge replica pearl drop brooch, and that's it today. It's January, and I'm thinking fresh, and fresh is light on the jewelry this week. No tiara, no other brooches, no ribbons. It's January. Fresh for a new beginning. But don't worry, I'll be getting back into the jewelry very soon. Debbie Deb says, is it true that Thomas Mark is going to write a book about Duchess Meghan? I saw some kind of story about him talking about he wishes that Catherine and Meghan would make up for the feud. He doesn't believe the feud. He said he didn't believe the feud in the Piers Morgan interview. So no, I haven't heard anything about a book. But if he does do a book, that will even more further compound the problem of that he can't be trusted, and it will widen the gap. So I hope he doesn't. I haven't heard anything. I mean, what's he going to say in a book that he hasn't already said now? Nothing. No, I can't see it myself, but we shall wait and see. Mrs. BSN, yes, the Duke of Cambridge did have an engagement announced for Wednesday, the 9th of January. And it is in respect to the first responders. So we know that William was an air ambulance pilot, and that is one direction in which his work is going in. And that engagement will be kind of all about that, all about the life-saving services that we have here in the UK, the emergency services. Annette White says, is there really something going on with William? No. I don't believe the fake news, but they keep showing his stern demeanour while putting on his scarf. No, he was just putting on a scarf. Who doesn't look slightly odd when they're putting on a scarf? It looked in the footage, in the pictures, like Meghan was trying to say something. She was kind of looking in William's direction. William was doing his scarf up, and he kind of had his eye on what I think was something in the distance. I think something was going on. It looked like out of the gate of the church, whether he was looking at the waiting media, whether he was waiting for the car. But it gave the appearance of possibly ignoring Meghan. I don't think he was. Certainly he could hear Meghan. But no, I don't think there was anything. People are looking for the smallest things in anything. They are nitpicking, as we say. And no, there is nothing in it. He was just putting on a scarf and looking, I think, through the direction of the gate to see what was going on. There must have been some kind of thing going on that we couldn't see from that angle. Museum Freak says, no tiara, you look elegant even without it. Well, thank you. But no, not tonight. Light on the jewelry today. YVR2MBJ, that's a mouthful. I'm going to call you YV. Says, you are so positive, humorous, and all-round delightful. Looking dapper also. Well, thank you so much. Biz says, I saw your coverage of the yacht sinking. It was a very sad event. It was indeed. Lots of lives lost. You educated me. I had never heard of it. I think it is a little known event, which is why the centenary and, of course, Prince Charles highlighting it through being there himself personally is very important to such events. It does shine a light, and it shows that royal engagements do shine that light on things on events and anniversaries of events that otherwise probably wouldn't get that much attention. Thank you to Pam G, who says, I'm always looking spiffy. Thank you. Laurie says, could I explain the difference between a patronage and having a royal warrant? A royal warrant is given to either a business, usually a business that supplies goods or services to a member of the royal family. The Queen, the Prince of Wales, the Duke of Edinburgh, could, and I think, can Camilla? The Queen Mother could. No, Camilla can't. The Queen Mother could, the Queen could, the Duke of Edinburgh could, Prince Charles does. They can give these royal warrants to businesses which supply services or goods to them which they recommend. A business that gets the royal warrant can display a royal warrant crest on their branding or above their shop or on their bags or whatever it might be. So it's kind of like basically a royal endorsement of a product or a service. A royal patronage is when a member of the royal family supports a certain charity, for example. So like, I'm trying to think of a well-known one. So for example, Meghan now is a royal patron of the Royal Variety charity, which we saw her in the care home. So she will now have stronger links and associations with that charity. She'll be doing, 3 maybe engagements a year with that charity, lots of work behind the scenes. She will support and take an extra interest in that charity. So by having these royal patronages, it does involve a lot of work behind the scenes, and of course attending their events and keeping up to date with what's going on with that charity. I hope I explained that okay. Charlotte P says, if Eugenie and Jack have children in the future, would there be HRH because their mother is a princess? No, because it's through the female line. So no, they would not. They wouldn't have, I don't believe, any title whatsoever because Jack doesn't have a title. So if Jack was titled, any children would take on whatever the title would be, corresponding with what his title was, but that's irrelevant because he doesn't have one. So no, they will not. Museum Freak says, is that a picture of you as a child and your mother in the background? Do you mean there? No, that's my grandparents who are no longer with us or with me. No, Meghan has not given birth. Patricia, don't give me kittens. No, Meghan has not given birth. Natalia says, looking forward to Prince William's engagement. I have so much respect for first responders. Oh my goodness, that reminds me. I saw one video talking about this first engagement, and in the thumbnail, it was very misleading. It had a photograph of like an engagement ring and William, and then I think it was Meghan's face, or was it Catherine's face? Very misleading. Don't clickbaiting entirely. Very misleading. Not that sort of engagement, not the ring engagement. Hello to everyone who has joined us. 415 watching, my goodness. Kevin says, you think I'll miss your question? Did I? No, I don't think I did. I don't think I did miss your question. Pam G says, I completely agree. Her Majesty is the most amazing person, and I know she has confidence in her family to help in great ways. I can agree there. Hello to Dawn, Lady Buckingham. Was it a different question, Kevin? I don't know. Yes, keep typing it. MSNB 2012 says, hi Elliot, what about the news of Samantha Markle being classified as a threat to the Duchess? I've already spoken about this one, and I've said that it's a complete fallacy. It's completely made up. The Royal Protection Officers do not put people on lists. They do not even suggest to have people put on lists. Samantha Markle is not the sort of threat to be put on that kind of a list. She might be an annoyance. she might cause an embarrassment, but causing an embarrassment is not a reason to be put on what is an incredibly high list of threat level in the UK. She is not a threat. I'm not standing up for her. Yes, I think she needs to zip it. I don't like it when she turns up outside Kensington Palace. I mean, of course, she wasn't anywhere near Meghan. She can be an annoyance, I think, to the royal family. I think she has been an embarrassment, as has Thomas Markle, but that is no reason to put her on a list. She does not qualify. That does not qualify to be put on a list. So no, that is a complete load of old nonsense, I have to say. Oh, we have a donation. G, Gessie, or is it Jessie or Gessie? Francois has donated $20. Thank you so much to you. You get a yellow fan flap. But yes, that was definitely fake news, I'm afraid. Lou Guy says, I know, too bad. Maybe he maybe I'll read them later. I have skipped some questions that were like way back when I first joined the room. If there was a really important question, do type it again. Museum Freak says the media is always going to be intrusive. I think the current royal family is handling it very well. The one thing that they do well is silence, and they have kept a very dignified silence. If you pander to the media, it makes them worse. It really does. I've already said when I think Meghan's going to give birth, sometime mid-April. PM Smile says, Robert Jobson, royal contributor, says that some believe Queen will make Prince Charles Prince Regent, and they would both man the ship. Well, if you have a regent, then that kind of effectively puts you into retirement. So they wouldn't kind of co-do it. It would be one or the other. You're either a regent and you have kind of, full control as if you were monarch, or you don't. Like I've said many times, the Queen would have to go to the government to evoke a regency just because she wanted it to happen. There is no provision for the Queen simply saying, oh, I'm 95 years old, therefore I want to retire, therefore I want to make my heir the Prince Regent. There is no definition in law to support that currently. There could be if the Queen goes to the government and they add old age effectively to the list of requirements to evoke a regency. The current requirements are, the first one isn't really applicable these days. It kind of harks back to a time when monarchs may have been on really long foreign tours, or they may have gone to battle. And that is that the monarch is absent from the country, either at the head of an army or on a foreign tour, or in a queen's capacity, maybe giving birth. If they were in a confinement, they may have appointed a regent. So nowadays, a monarch isn't really absent, so we can kind of discount that one. And the Queen is not absent. The second one is mental health. If the monarch was mentally incapacitated and not in charge of their senses, the Regency Council could evoke a regency on her behalf. Now, the last time I checked, the Queen was of sound mind, so we can discount that one. And the third one is body. If you are, incapacitated, shall we say, body-wise, if you cannot fulfill the role of monarchy, because your body is no longer working, if you're, literally incapacitated, then that is another reason why you could evoke a regency, either on the Queen's behalf or the Queen saying, look, I can't fulfill the role. Again, that is not the case. The Queen is of able body. Yes, adjustments are being made along the way, but that she can still fulfill the role even with adjustments being made. Queen Victoria almost withdrew from public life and still maintained the primary functions of monarchy. So again, those three criteria are not met by the Queen. So there would have to be a change in the law just simply to to fit in old age. So we're going to have to wait and see. The talk is that perhaps that cut-off point in the Queen's head might be 95. We don't know if that's true or not. We're going to have to wait and see. But the Queen would have to go to the government to put old age into the Regency Act. We have another donation. My goodness. Mary Thomas donated $20. Thank you so much. You get a fan flap. I would like to give you more than just a fan flap. I really do. So yes, good question. I'm just skipping through a few things. Dee Dee says, hopefully they will drop many of these patronages. They will have more impact with more involvement in less organisations, or combine smaller foundations under one umbrella like Heads Together. I think that's where the younger royals are going in direction, kind of more focused, direct work. Sometimes when you look at number of days worked of a royal or total number of engagements, it's not a true reflection of the amount of work or impact that goes into a particular project or indeed an umbrella charity, like you said. So I would agree. I think things are kind of changing. But again, I don't think many people in the UK would like to see charities without a royal patron, kind of. I think. Annette screaming, March. You think the baby's going to be March? Genny Hutchinson said, I heard Duchess Meghan's father gave another interview and writing a book about Meghan to counteract the negative press. I haven't heard it. But again, I think if by doing that he thinks that it's going to help the situation, it's not going to help the situation. It's going to make it, even if he thinks that he's defending Meghan, he's still talking to the press. He's still trying to make money off Meghan's back. It's not going to wash, and I certainly don't think it's going to help with any family rift between Meghan and Thomas. It's not going to heal any wounds. So I'm hoping it's not true for his sake, because I want him to have a relationship with Meghan. I think family feuds are not good for anybody. We don't know the whole backstory in between why. You know, we know the bit about from when he did the fake photos onwards, but including like far back family history, we do not know all of it. We don't know all the ins and outs. But it would be nice to see this kind of feud ended, but it's not going to happen if he keeps doing things which are going to put questions and doubts in Meghan's head about his trustworthiness. So I would say to Thomas, if I was speaking to him directly, don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't. Stop. Just stop and zip. And I know I'm going to get people saying, you can't tell people to zip it, freedom of speech and blah, blah, blah. Yes, he has freedom of speech. He can say what he wants. But then don't go crying to a newspaper saying that your daughter that you say that you want to have a relationship with doesn't trust you and won't speak to you. You've either got to choose. Either you're going to make the decision to say what you want to say, but you can't have your cake and eat it. You've got to make that decision. Do you want a relationship with your daughter, or do you want to talk to the press and make money? It's a choice. And yes, Elaine, the baby will come when the baby comes. I agree completely. Lots of people speculating about when they think baby Sussex will be born. What about the brooch I'm wearing? It is the Duchess of Cambridge pearl drop brooch, a kind of smaller replica. The Queen's one is much larger. This is kind of it's a replica, but it's a kind of scaled back replica. Sean Williams says, do I think Meghan seems to be more popular than Catherine, and do I think that's a good thing? We need to cast our mind back, and lots of people who came to this channel and to the royal family through Meghan may not know that when Catherine first married into the family, there was so much attention and everything about Catherine, the fashion, the hair, every tiny bit of speculation. There wasn't the really negative news. There was a little bit in terms of her background, but that was kind of initially, and then it petered out. We've seen a lot more negative press and attention with Meghan for whatever those reasons might be. I know people have very strong ideas upon that, but there was so much attention heaped on Meghan. Then, I mean, heaped on Catherine. Then when Meghan came along, it was like, oh, somebody new, fresh meat. Let's, you know, put all the emphasis on her. I'm hoping that some of that attention may peter off a little tiny fraction, or rather just scale down, because I would hate to see all the fake news in particular carrying on for much longer. I'm not saying that I want the attention to not be on Meghan, but I think naturally these things will kind of level off slightly. I'm hoping it will, and I'm hoping that we'll see a lot more a balance between the emphasis and focus on the two. I think we did see that, you know, a while ago before all this fake news, and I'm hoping we'll see more of it in the future. Annette says, my biggest clue was Harry telling the media at the end about July and the beginning of August. Then they disappeared until Strauss. I didn't hear him talk about that, to be quite honest, but July isn't spring, and the announcement was definitely spring for the baby. So there we go. Kevin says, I'll ask again, has it been determined? Oh, I answered that one. I spoke about what the titles would be. I'm probably reading far back. Andrew McCoy said, saw a comment on YouTube about Harry being gay. Is it fake news? Just curious. Well, obviously it's fake news because he's married to Meghan. But let's cast our minds back to before Meghan, when Harry was single for that kind of what seemed like a very long time. Was it 3 years since Cressida Bonus, I think? Anyway, he was single for a long time. And he did make a comment when he was asked, saying that he wouldn't discount a relationship with a guy, or words to that effect. I can't remember the exact words, but that's what he said. He said he would, and I think he was joking. I think he was half joking, but that comment may have been something that was dragged up from when he said that. But certainly, I don't think so, because he's with the lovely Meghan. Annette says, telling the media to go away. Harry complained about the hysteria at the end of July. Ah, now I'm with you. And swooshed her off to the Cotswolds. Yes, one thing that Harry does value most definitely is his privacy. He is fiercely guarded of it. And I think that's one of the reasons why Frogmore was a really good choice. It is in a royal protection zone, even though people have said it's quite close to roads and footpaths, blah, blah, blah. It is in a royal protection zone, which offers great security, seclusion, and privacy, which I'm sure would have been one of the deciding factors in their decision to relocate to Frogmore Cottage. Oh, Janice is eating Taco Bell tacos. I hope they're good. Yes, Patricia Jackson, so much fake news going on. Okay, I'm just kind of scrolling up slightly. Oh, Mass Republic Health says, is it true the royals don't have baby showers? Do you think the Duchess of Sussex will have such an occasion? We kind of had this news with the engagement, with the kind of, she had, was it what Americans call bridal showers? We have hen parties, and there was a bridal shower, and we discussed the differences between the two. Baby showers are becoming more popular in the UK than what they were. I know some people who have had baby showers, but when they announced they were having one, it was like, oh, you know, it's this kind of new big thing. Oh, you're having a baby shower. So typically I would say we don't, but it's coming. I think it's becoming more and more popular. A baby shower is kind of like a hen party in the UK, but for a baby, where you play, you know, funny games like what's in the nappy and all this different stuff. So they're becoming more popular, but I would say that they aren't a traditional British thing to do, but they are becoming more and more popular. Will Meghan have one? She's American, so I imagine, well, she's nearly British. She married a Brit. Once all the legal work's done, then she'll be British. But you know what I'm saying, American heritage. So, and obviously brought up with the American ways. So will she have one? That's up to her. I would hedge my bets and say probably. Please invite me. Kevin says, will James and Louise ever claim their status? Yes, technically they are princes and princesses by birthright. However, it was agreed with Edward and Sophie. They wanted them not to have those titles. So the Queen agreed, and therefore they haven't been styled that. But it's still their birthright to be HRH and Prince or Princess, currently of Wessex. Now, when they're old enough, I think in the UK, it's either 16 or 18. I think if they wanted to, they could choose whether they wanted to take on what is essentially their birthright or not. It would be a personal choice. And we don't know either way what they're going to do. They may be perfectly happy with who and what they are titled at the moment. It's probably more of a big deal and a fuss to people looking on at them than what it is to them themselves. Would it change much for them? I don't think so. I don't think it would really change much. They are unlikely to ever be full-time working royals. I would like to see them taking on some kind of a role, but it's very doubtful. We have so many royals coming up with William's children and obviously baby Sussex. Will Meghan and Harry have more children in the future? I don't know. But that kind of line of working royals is there. We also have Princess Beatrice and Eugenie that I would like to see put to work and become working royals. So there is a lot of support out there in the growing family for William when William is king. Do James and Louise need that? That will be up to them to decide. Oh, 468 people watching. If you're watching right now, hit the thumbs up. It's right down there. Just hit it. And make sure you're subscribed to the channel, please. And I think I've just skipped all the questions. My goodness. Oh no, I've lost my place in the comments. Hang on. I'm going to have to go back up. Hang on. Yes, I've lost my place. Where are we? Hang on. Oh no, I really have lost my place. I don't know whether to just go literally all the way down the bottom or not. Hang on. I was going through all the comments. Oh no. I pressed, look, I'll show you what I did. Can you see? I don't know. I pressed the little down button and it zoomed me all the way down to the bottom by accident. So now I've lost all my comments. Oh no. Right. It won't let me go any further up than this. So, hang on. Where am I? I think I'm there. Right, I found my place. Master of Public Health says, how do commoners have to adjust their finances when they marry a royal? Does all of their money typically go in trust? No, any money that was theirs before prior marriage is theirs. Any money, for example, that Meghan made whilst during her acting career is hers. It's her private money. I do believe she's still under US taxes, but again, she can opt Harry out of that. I think we discussed that a while ago. So no big problem for Harry. If, for example, you are a royal and you inherit money when you are a royal, again, that is part of your own personal finances. So there's no bother or any concern in that regard. Okay, now I am skipping. Lots of people saying Happy New Year. So Happy New Year to everybody. How is the Queen? Looking very good. The last time we saw her on Sunday at Sandringham for church. No, I haven't seen any member of the royal family in person. I really want to. We have another donation. Yvette Morris, $15. Thank you so much to you, Yvette. You get a fan flap, and it also cools me down. So thank you. Thank you for cooling me down. The central heating is rather hot today. Oh, Vinnie Blair's talking about exhumation. Who are we exhuming? I think I missed that comment. Who are we exhuming? What am I looking forward to in the royal calendar? I always love Trooping the Colour, that amazing performance at Horse Guard Parade, and of course the balcony flyover. That's always a highlight of the year. Peter Clark says, is Harry regarded as legitimate in England? Well, of course. He's not in New Zealand. Really? I've never even heard that. I'm thinking that's fake news. What did I do for New Year's Eve? It will be in the weekly vlog. Tomorrow, Sunday, I will be posting the weekly vlog. It's a weird time. I have to post it at 12 a.m. That's the earliest I can post it once I upload it to YouTube on the day. It won't let me do a premiere on the same day, so I have to wait. The earliest is 12 a.m. kind of technically Monday morning in the UK, but it's still kind of Sunday to the rest of the world. In America, it'll still be Sunday. So just Google 12 a.m. GMT Monday, and that will be the time. Literally, kind of think tomorrow, an hour and 15 minutes from now. That will be when the weekly vlog is. Biz Burgess says, my Hunter rain boots bought in Canada have the royal warrant. Yes, Hunter do have the royal warrants, as do, for example, Fulton, who make the umbrellas, the Queen's birdcage umbrella. Thank you to everyone commenting on the outfit. Ooh, 461 watching, my goodness. Have I softened my approach to what? What are we softening? No, sorry, I have not seen a royal in person. And I am very looking forward to The Crown Series 3, but I haven't checked the release date. But I am going to get Netflix very soon. I always get Netflix for The Crown, and then I cancel the membership. So I will be getting it very, very soon. Of course, so that I can watch. Floss and Rog says, I have seen Her Majesty in Australia and went to the wedding of Charles and Diana, so saw them all as they went past to St. Paul's. How amazing that would have been. I was very young then. No, in fact, I wasn't even born at the St. Paul's wedding. I'm just skipping through. Hang on. Annette says, all anyone really needs to do is look at Prince Philip and the balding pattern on Charles, William, and now Harry. That is biological hand-me-down. So I don't know what New Zealand thinks Harry's not legitimate. I don't know either. It's quite clear to see. And I think certainly as Harry's gotten older, I can certainly see Charles. Some of the looks he gives is definitely Charles. If you look at some earlier, there was a photo of Charles with a beard. Harry he looks so much like Charles, and of course he looks like his grandfather, Prince Philip, as well. So in my mind, there is no question. And Diana always said that she didn't even meet Hewitt until after Harry was born. Okay, I am just skipping through a few. Oh, Jamie's here. Hello to Jamie and all my mods. I have 3 mods who do a fantastic job. So thank you so much to my wonderful mods who always do a great job every week and in all my pop-up chats. So thank you so much. Okay, I am skipping through a few questions. So I'm so sorry if I've skipped yours and it was really important. If I've missed it, do type it again. Jamie says or thinks the baby is going to be born mid to late March. We don't know exactly. The only thing we know for sure is spring. So let's just stick with spring. Any point in spring. I know that's a big gap. But I'm thinking mid-April, or certainly a good slice into April. Okay, I'm skipping through a few things. Seaside Mom says Thomas has probably been put on the fixation list. I don't think either of them qualify to be put on the fixation list, to be perfectly honest. Definitely not. SC1964 says, looking very dapper tonight. Thank you so much. Look at the little brooch, the Cambridge brooch. We do like that one. Thank you so much for joining. C-Mac says Robert Jobson is only guessing like people do. He doesn't really know the working of the royals' mind or business. I would agree it's speculation. We don't know what the Queen is planning with regards to a regency. And like I said, to do anything other than the three main criteria that you need to, fulfill one of them at least to evoke a regency, there would have to be a change in the law. The Regency Act would have to be amended to include being a great age. So yes, it's not impossible, but there would have to be a change. Master of Public Health says, I'm not being rude to tell Thomas Markle to zip it. Believe me, I have been accused of putting my nose where it's not concerned with regards to Thomas not being a UK citizen. So that's why I said what I said. Lou Guy says, poor Elliot, so many questions and opinions to keep up to. Just stay steady. Be British, stay steady, and cruise on through. Prosita Charles, I think that's how you say your name, says, hi everyone, imagine if the Queen gave Harry and Meghan, Meghan's children, a royal title. The haters will definitely be having heart palpitations with smoke coming out of their posterior. I'll change the word. Yes, I think it would certainly shut people up. However, like I say, that is a matter for the Queen to decide. And who is going to argue with Her Majesty? She is the top dog, the top kahuna, the big fish. And I think everybody will respect whatever decision she makes with regards to that. Okay, I'm skipping through a few, so sorry if I've missed yours. Southern Lady says, I am hoping for media balance concerning the Duchess of Sussex in the future too. I think it will come. It's got to. It's surely got to. I don't think it can stay ramped up with all this hype. It's not good, all this hype, especially when it brings in the negative. And there is so much negative. We know about all the negative. So I'm hoping we'll see balance and check coming in to the whole thing. We can hope. We can live in hope. Patricia Nixon says, you know the real reasons. American and biracial. Unfortunately, that's a fact. You're just trying to be polite. I was trying to be polite. You're right. But yes, I agree with you. I think those are, I'm afraid to have to say, the primary reasons we're seeing a lot of the fake news, but also I think monetary gain. I think a lot of the, particularly on YouTube, I think a lot of the channels that are putting out all the fake news, they know that if they put out a load of twaddle, they're going to get clicks, they're going to get money. So I think it's also a little bit of exploitation as well going on there, which of course we don't like to see. I always know it's going to be a good comment when people say, did I read the Daily Mirror? Bassani Golf says, did I read the Daily Mirror about Harry going on exercises in Norway with the Royal Marines? That is irresponsible. I haven't seen it, so I can't comment on the what the content of it is. I can't say whether it's talking about royal sources, royal insiders. Exercises is different to necessarily like, is it training? Potentially I could see him going training with, you know, to sort of yes, I could see training. I know I'm waffling. I haven't read the story, I haven't seen it, so thank you for alerting me to it. I will take a look. If it's training exercises and he would be attending in his capacity as Colonel of the Royal Marines, which he took over from Prince Philip, I could see that being a grain of truth in it. In terms of actually being at the war side of things, if there was any mission, then no, definitely not. But lending his support to a training exercise, possible, but I haven't heard it myself. Blessing says the interests on the Duke and Duchess of Sussex will stay the same or increase, especially after baby Sussex is born, especially throughout the Commonwealth. This year is going to be a big year. We will see definitely, you know, obviously the birth of baby Sussex, which will bring a lot of attention. But then I think we'll see kind of maybe a lull. I'm hoping for possibly a lull when Meghan goes off on maternity leave. She won't be doing public engagement. She will be taking it easy, hopefully putting her feet up. But I think she'll be doing a lot of work behind the scenes, gearing up for when she returns, which I'm thinking will probably be around about September. So I think she'll have a good solid maternity leave, and then probably back in September. I imagine she'll be working on lots of projects in the meantime to keep her occupied and busy, along with obviously being a mother. Will Frogmore Cottage be ready? I don't know. I don't know how far along they are, but I know that certainly when I renovated part of this house, which is an 1840s property, there is a lot of work in old buildings and lots of problems come your way. And in particular with Harry and Meghan's being listed, you have to jump through so many different hoops with planning and all the rest of it. And in sort of, you know, English heritage like to step in with listed buildings. I don't know if it's going to be ready. I'm hoping it will be. It would offer loads of seclusion and privacy. I'm hoping Meghan and Harry can move in before baby is born, but I don't think so. In my head, I'm thinking there are so many problems that could come up with these sorts of buildings and renovation projects that, you know, April isn't that far away. And just, you know, on the scale of it, my little property took about 8 months to renovate this certain section. They're doing a whole, you know, 5-6 bedroom cottage with full-on extensions, listed building. I don't know about timeframes. So that leads to the other point. Where will Meghan have the baby? I've always said previously, I have thought the most likely option is the Lindo wing. However, that hinges upon whether Frogmore Cottage is ready or not. If Frogmore is ready and they can be safely in the property when baby's about to be born, there's a possibility of Frimley Park. I'm sure it's called Frimley Park. Yes, Frimley Park in Surrey, which is a hospital where the Wessexes had their children. So Lady Louise and James Viscount Severn were born at Frimley Park Hospital in Surrey, which is close to Windsor. Now, if Frogmore Cottage is ready, there's a chance it could be Frimley Park. But I'm not sure. I'm still going to go with Lindo Wing in London. They haven't announced anything. I don't know how close to the birth we will know anything. I really don't know. That is one of the things we're going to have to wait and see. But I think the deciding factor hinges upon, is the cottage going to be ready? I don't know. All I know is from my own experience, renovating old properties can throw up so many different problems and conservation issues and planning, and and a lot of these decisions take a long time to get through. So unless they're being fast-tracked in any kind of way, I don't know whether it will be ready for April. We're going to have to wait and see on that one. Just skipping through a few. So sorry. Just going through a few more. I'm sorry if I've missed your comment. Robert Gray says, can you comment on Meghan's appearance at the Fashion Awards? Which Fashion Awards are we talking about? Are we talking about the one where she gave the speech? Or are we talking about the one ages ago? No. Has there been a new one? I haven't seen a new one because people keep saying about the Fashion Awards. And I haven't seen an appearance at the Fashion Awards. Is it a new one? I haven't seen one. And I check the news every day. Sonia says, I'd love to send you something from New Zealand. Is there anything in particular you can think of you would like? What is very new? What's New Zealand? Well, thank you for a start for wanting to send me something. What's New Zealandy? What's New Zealandy? Sheep. Sheep. Do they do New Zealand sheep? Like stuffed fluffy sheep. I like cute things. A stuffed fluffy New Zealand lamb. You're going to have to tell me something that is really New Zealandy that I wouldn't know about. Piano Smile says there is a great interview of Peter and Zara Phillips on YouTube. Zara is wearing a red jacket. I highly recommend it. I think I have seen that one. Is it quite an old one? I'm sure I've seen one where it's quite old, where she was talking about the birth of Mia. If it's that one, then I think I've seen it. If not, I need to look at that one too. Yes, Mathless. I made a video on it. Did you not see? Sarah is definitely launching. Sarah Ferguson, Sarah Duchess of York, is launching Sarah Senses, which is a tea and scent range. One of the scents is called Dark Nights, and it was a reed diffuser, and she was giving them out over Christmas to family and friends in hampers. I don't think you will be able to buy the hamper, but I think the tea and the reed diffusers will be available at some point. We don't know when. I haven't visited USA for many years, but when I did, it was New York, which I really enjoyed. Goodbye to Seaside Bomb, who's leaving us. Kelly Branch donated $20. I'm sure I missed your donation. Thank you so much for the kind donation. And I get to have some wind too. Oh, central heating in an old cottage that's been extra insulated because of building regulations. Okay, skipping it through. Hang on. I am just literally skipping through a few comments to kind of get down a little bit further down the way. C.A. Levy says, is there any royal on the planet, not confined to the British, whom you'd marry and with whom you'd love to grow old? Well, very interesting, because in the UK, the only royal that is actually old enough and of marriageable age and kind of in the same age range as me that's left, there isn't any left. I've run out of options. There is none. The only royal that's actually available is female, and it's actually Princess Beatrice. And I know she's going out with someone already. So Beatrice, no, wrong gender, I'm afraid, Beatrice. But yes, I think the only person in the UK that's in the royal family that's of that age, of marriageable age, is Beatrice, the lovely Beatrice. She can be my friend. We can be friends, Beatrice. But I'm sorry, I'm going to have to refuse you. Poor Beatrice. But no, she has a man at the moment, currently. So I'm sure she's okay with that. But yes, probably in the UK, my only hope of being royal is Beatrice. No, I would never marry just for title. I wouldn't get one anyway. It doesn't work that way around, I'm afraid. So yes, Beatrice in the UK. In terms of who is, there was a very dishy, handsome royal. Oh, I forgot his name. Oh, I forgot his name. I'll have to find it. I have him a picture in my head. Good question. Rising Rhapsody says, what do I think about Frimley Park? I have just spoken about that. Oh, Arnold says, with the exhumation comment, Vinny was referencing a lady in America wanting to exhume Diana's great uncle for DNA. Well, I'm going to give this lady a black fan flap because there is going to be no exhumations. My goodness, what is wrong with these people? Exhumations. I think they need to exhumate. I think she needs to exhumate her own brain cell. My goodness. Lauren Walker says, I got a response from my Christmas card to the Queen from a lady in waiting. Was so happy. I'm so pleased for you. It just goes to show if you write to the royals, you may probably will get a response. And yes, we always keep a lookout for who is at church at Sandringham. I'll be telling you on Sunday who we see. Lady Buckingham says, I would love to know if any of the royals have watched The Crown and what they think of it. I would like to know that too, because I think I would be very tempted to know what people are saying about the history of the family, because of course it started with the Queen as Princess Elizabeth and is working its way up. So I would be interested to know if anyone has watched it. I don't think we've had a comment about it from anyone. But yes, it would be very interesting to know what they think. Of course, with these dramatizations, they aren't going to know the exact dialogue between people. That, of course, has to have some kind of artistic license. But there are set piece events like the coronation and certain things like that are documented that they can recreate word for word in some occasions. So I like seeing the recreations, and you just have to bear in mind, I think, when watching something like that a lot of the dialogue, the personal dialogue between, for example, the Queen and Philip and other characters, I say characters, real life characters, but in the dramatization characters, a lot of the dialogue between the two isn't going to be known. It's speculative, but probably is a good basis, I think. I say that really tentatively, but yes, I would like to know what they make of it. Would be quite a good thing to know. Sharon, I don't believe the royal feud garbage either. Just skipping a few comments. Lauren Walker says, any truth in the new baby being born in a different hospital? Well, I've just spoken about that. How are we doing for people? 483? Hello to all of you. We're getting busier and busier each week. If you're watching, please make sure you're subscribed and you've given a thumbs up. Okay, sorry if I've missed a few questions. B says, hello, Elliot. Harry looks so much like Queen Mary. I haven't noticed the similarity, but I will be looking for it right now. Mrs. BSN says, if she's recognised again, it means nothing. The males inherit, and so she wouldn't get anything. Definitely wouldn't get her hands on the Spencer tiara. The Spencer tiara is the Spencer family tiara, so no, that tiara would not ever find its way into the royal family. Lou Guy says, I'm the closest you've come to seeing a royal. My goodness. I think I'm the closest I've come to seeing a royal. I haven't met any. Jamie says, apparently the Queen is due her 5th child in April. My goodness. Oh, I'm flapping major time. Can you imagine? Oh my word. That would be a miracle. It would be like the virgin birth. On that same level, away in a manger. Oh, I saw an amazing video this week. A hark back. No, I'm not going to tell you. I'll tell you next week. It's to do with something to do with my weekly vlog. But I saw an amazing video and it really made me smile. And I'll tell you what it is next week. Remind me. Tony Leap of Faith says, pronounce that T in duty. Have I not been saying my T's? Dreamcast says, I met Prince Charles and Camilla at a garden party. No, garden reception in St. Lucia a few years ago. Unfortunately, my phone was stolen a few days later and I lost the candid photos. Oh no! Oh, I hate when that happens. YouTube Bangler wants subbing and say 56. I've said 56. Astrid says, the Queen is the boss. She is indeed. Sorry if I'm skipping a few. Dawn says, HM, do I have to delete you for spreading fake news? I think you may. SC1964 says, HM the kind, haha. Oh my goodness, can you imagine if the Queen had a 5th child at this age? Oh, you're never too old. Have I gotten any Christmas cards from the royals? Not yet. I agree. Definitely Prince Harry looks like Prince Philip. Southern Lady says, you are what we call in the South a true gentleman. You are very tactful. I try. Okay, I have to work on my tact. I think I've gotten fairly good at being diplomatic, but I do have a tendency sometimes to just blurt out whatever's in here comes out of there. So I have to sometimes I think people recognize I go into kind of like political mode and I put my political hat on and then I can be objective about things. But sometimes I have been known to just blah, verbal diarrhea. I can be guilty of verbal diarrhea. Lots of people saying they have received Christmas card responses. Oh, Sanju Pun is talking about Victoria Beckham's clothing brand. Yes, I saw an article, something about Meghan could be the only one to save Victoria's clothing brand. We don't know whether Meghan's going to wear any of Victoria Beckham's dresses. It is just speculation. Lugai says, I love your home and parents. You were kind to give us a wee look. It's quite hard to film and do a vlog on Christmas Day. So I did manage to get some shots for my weekly vlog from around the Christmas dining table and in my mom's house and some of my own house. And I did what I got for Christmas haul where I felt like a spoilt brat, I have to say. I know you guys in America say cherished. I've learned that. I've learned that you say cherished. Yes, I was cherished. So in the weekly vlog, I did kind of say in the comments, spoiled Brit alert, because I had like a huge haul of presents. So if you haven't seen what I had for Christmas, do go check out my last weekly vlog. But yes, be warned, very cherished here. Okay, I'm just skipping through a few. Oh, Joanne says, maybe we will get another baby announcement from Princess Eugenie before the end of 2019. It's possible. It is possible. PM Smile says, Meghan will be seen for sure. The christening, trooping the colour, Wimbledon. Will Ascot more? Trust me, not gone out of sight. She will be out and about at functions. We don't know for sure. I mean, we cannot say for sure. But it's likely she may pick and choose which of the set piece events she wishes to attend. If indeed any, it could be a complete withdrawal. We don't know. We literally do not know. We'll have to wait and see which events that she feels like she wants to attend. But yes, I agree. I think there are lots of the events that I think will probably likely see her at, but we can't confirm or deny at this point. Carolyn Holt says cottage is such a misnomer. Yes, it is large. A lot of royal buildings are called cottages, and they're like mini mansions, as we probably would say. But yes, cottage traditionally like little tiny kind of cottages, like my house. My house is a little dinky cottage. My house is long, but it's very narrow. It's a narrow and long cottage. But Harry and Meghan's is quite a big scale cottage with the addition of 2 new orangeries. I've spoken about what hospital baby Sussex may be born at. 496 viewers. Can we make 500? Mrs. BSN says if work began on the cottage before the November announcement, they could be in the home before baby is born. Yes, it depends entirely upon when the work started, which we don't know. We have no reports on that whatsoever. G-Man says, are royal birth certificates made public? Yes, we saw the release of George's and Charlotte's and Louis'. SC 1964 says, I don't think the cottage like that would be ready by then. I agree. I absolutely agree with you. I think just going by what I know, like I've said, about renovating my small cottage, a cottage of that size, of Meghan and Harry's size, listed building, planning consent, conservation orders, it's a nightmare. I mean, when I say it's a big job, you know, people just think, oh, we'll just get the builders in. People think about these shows on TV where they do things in 60 seconds, 60 minutes, or, you know, a week of intense building and things are done and ready. No, this is like, it's a major project. I think people are vastly underestimating the scale of this project. It's a big project. It's a big deal. And I agree. I think I'm still thinking Lindo Wing. I've always said Lindo Wing, and I'm still thinking Lindo Wing. But we will have to wait and see, as with many things royal, until we see an official announcement. We are not going to know. So I would agree with SC on that one. Betty Thompson says is donating $10. Thank you so much. You get a yellow family. I nearly picked up the black one. Thank you so much. And I get some wind again. Thank you so much to you. Astrid says the Portland Hospital is also a good place with maternity. Sarah delivered her daughters in the Portland Hospital. There are lots of options, but I think Harry and Meghan, with having Nottingham Cottage in London, I still think Lindo Wing is probably the best. Lauren says, any news on Buckingham Palace work? Will they be ready for the Queen's birthday? The Buckingham Palace renovations is going to take, what was it, 10 years? It's, again, a massive conservation project that's being funded over 10 years. I'm sure it was 10 years. So they're doing it in sections, and eventually it will be the Queen's apartments, which, of course, she said that she will, I think she said that she's going to go to Windsor during that point. So no, the work is ongoing throughout different parts of the palace for the next 10 years. It's a big project again. Tony Leap of Faith says, what can you do to practice your British accent? Watch TV, listen to music, talk to other people, watch videos online, all of the above. I like the bloke style, as it were. When it comes to accents, Britain is just the same as any other country. I'm going to use America as an example because we have different regional accents. The London accent is very different to the Scottish accent, to the Northern accent, to Manchester, Mancunian, to Liverpudlian for people in Liverpool, from the Welsh, from where I am in the Midlands, from Birmingham, the Birmingham accent. Britain is a hot pot of different accents. So I guess I would say choose which accent you'd like to study and listen to and take on, and look for videos on that. Just the same as like in America, you have the New York accent, you have the Californian, you have the Midwest, the Texan drawl. There are varying, there is no one particular British accent. There used to be, I suppose, what we would call BBC English, you know, on the old newsreels, where you would see people talking a lot like that. And yes, the Queen is heading to blah, 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 blah. They would speak very, very clipped, and there would be kind of one accent across the BBC. Now we see lots of different dialects on TV. We see different regional accents all across any kind of media. So, yeah, we are a hot pot of different accents, always have been and always will be. Hang on. Mirial says they hired a designer already to do the nursery at their country bolt hole in the Cotswolds. Well, we don't know for sure. They haven't confirmed it, but I would imagine that that would be a home that they would be using when baby is born. So it wouldn't surprise me if they hadn't set up a nursery in their Cotswolds home. That would be a sensible option. It's a speculation point, but nevertheless, it's a sensible speculation point. Vinny says Catherine used the Lindo wing because she's a traditionalist and she wanted to replicate Harry and William's birth by Princess Diana, clothes and all. Yes, she did replicate some of the colours and some of the outfits. And I agree. I think she is a traditionalist and does like to follow in certain traditions. That I think she's trying to create her own traditions by doing that. Because of course, the first person to carry something on is kind of the one that's creating that tradition. So I think she's firmly doing that herself. But I still think if you're in London, the Lindo wing is arguably one of the best hospitals for giving birth in the world. People come. I watched a program on the Lindo wing, and people come from all over the world to give birth in the Lindo wing. I still think that is probably the front runner. Sorry if I'm skipping. Do I think we'll see any more royal babies this year? It's possible if there was an announcement very soon, but no, I'm probably thinking not, but maybe 2020. Kelli Black says, do Charles and Camilla have a favourite type of dog that will represent them as the Queen has corgis? I don't think we're ever going to see such another strong association between monarch and breed of dog as what we have with the Queen and the corgis. I mean, everyone, I think, throughout the world knows if you say the Queen's dogs, they think instantly of corgis. And I don't think we're going to see that again. I think Charles and Camilla like a bit of a mixture of dogs. We know Camilla is associated very strongly with the Battersea Dogs Home, and she cannot help going into that Battersea Dogs Home and kind of saying, "I want another dog." And she always sees one that she likes, and sometimes she has been known to kind of bring one back. And Charles is like, "Oh, not another dog," but I think he always likes them in the end. Let's put it that way. But yes, they are big dog lovers, but I don't think we're going to see such another association, such as we've seen with the Queen and the Queen's corgis. Annette says, it was when she gave the award to her fashion designer, and many think she got a baby. Oh, the old one. I couldn't believe people are still talking about that. That's old news. Yes, the designer, when she was giving the award to her wedding dress designer, Wait Keller, and yeah, we did see a bit of a baby move, and I think that's when she kind of put her arms quite close and hugged the bump. Look at me hugging my biscuit bump. Yes, Christmas bump. I need to rejoin a gym, I think. But yes, that is kind of old news now. Ooh, Laverne says you can expect some Mardi Gras trinkets from New Orleans, Louisiana, sometimes in March. Ooh, I love Mardi Gras. Mardi Gras, anything. Yes, Camilla has Jack Russells from the Battersea Dogs home. That's what I was talking about. Tony says, God bless this live chat. I do like this live chat. It is real. People in London. Well, I'm not in London. I'm in Shropshire in the Midlands. I'm a country bumpkin who says, God bless St. James and all people like him. How are we doing for time? Okay. How are we doing for people? 495. My goodness. Jennifer says, is it very cold in Shropshire? I think today in the daytime temperature, I think it was 5 degrees. So, but it felt colder. I think we had a little bit of wind chill. It felt a lot colder. Cynthia has donated $2.99. Thank you so much to Cynthia. I think I may have missed your donation earlier. I've just got to it now. Thank you so much. Oh, Luke Guy says Andrew is single. He's not single. We all know. Andrew, we all know. We all know Sarah and Andrew. Who are you trying to fool? We all know you're not single. Hey, I'm Gabe. No, Andrew is definitely, I think there would be a certain lady, a certain flame-haired lady who would have something to say about that. That's really funny. G-Man says, what about Princess Margaret's grandchildren? Are they available for marriage? I'm not even going to answer that one. Let's just say Princess Margaret's grandchildren are very nice, respectable young gentlemen. Pam G says, your Union Jack flag is reminding me of a question. Do people fly their flag outside their homes on special days or commemoration? Okay, the flag. Oh, my goodness. In the UK, the flag, our poor little national flag, has probably been appropriated by association, by negative association, by certain types of people. Not so much the Union Jack, but more the St. George's Cross has been kind of associated with a certain type of people in recent times that many people probably don't fly it. And the certain people that do have a certain connotation, shall we say. So typically in Britain, you probably wouldn't see the average person flying a Union Jack or a St. George's Cross. It's different in Scotland, it's different in Wales, and it's different in Ireland, in the bulk of Ireland, not Northern Ireland, Ireland. But I think people should fly it a lot more. I think it's time to kind of elevate it a little bit. And I think people should be proud to fly the flag. In America, the flag is everywhere. You have your American flag flown for whatever reason. It is usually just on special occasions. I wish it was more. I wish we would see more people proudly displaying the flag. But like I say, I think in recent times, our national flags have kind of been hijacked by a certain type of people that has negative connotations, and therefore people are kind of a little bit, I think, afraid to fly the flag in case people think that they also have those kind of connotations. It's a bit of a sorry state, I have to say, and it's one that I would love to see reverse. So I would love to see more people doing what I'm doing and showing the Union Jack. Although, on saying that, we do see lots of Union Jack, furnishings, and you can find cushions and that kind of thing. So, yes, I'd like to see more people flying the flag for the right reasons. Will I buy some of Sarah's new candles? Yes, I want to see what Dark Night smells like. Maggie says, Prince Andrew is single and handsome if you like older men. Danielle says, G-Man, yes, they are available. Lady Sarah Chateau has the most handsome boys ever. Well, I wasn't going to comment on the handsomeness level. But yes, certainly good genes. Respectable young gentleman. Donna says, I do love your look today. I love the understated pin. Looks much better. I have stripped down the jewellery. It's January. It's the first week in January. We are stripped back. But don't worry, I will be full magpie very soon, I'm sure. I'm just skipping through a few. Hang on. I think we've spoken about possibly Eugenie's possible baby this year. Kind of skipping a little bit. I'm so sorry if I've missed out some comments, but I kind of want to go down a little bit. Jamie says, Elliot, maybe you could recreate the virgin birth for a weekly vlog. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Lots of people laughing at that comment. Yes, Lugai, I think the Queen probably is incredibly beautiful. Her skin. Okay, when people say you've got skin like a queen, the Queen has amazing skin. Looks so smooth and gorgeous. She has certainly taken care of her queenly skin. Definitely queenly skin. Sorry if I'm skipping. No, I do not believe, Massless, we have seen any sightings of Harry and Meghan recently. Mrs. BSN says Duchess of Sussex did wear Victoria Beckham's dress on Christmas. It was the all to do because the Duchess of Sussex said she loved her clothes but didn't have the right body type. Things have changed. Oh, of course. Do you know what? You're quite right. She did wear it. And I remember because now she said that she's got the bump. It fits better. I remember. And yes, Victoria Beckham's fashion line was having financial difficulties. Who knows whether Meghan will have saved it or not? Sales figures will tell. Oh, 500. Oh no, we've gone down again. But at one point, I did reach 501 viewers. So that's good. Oh, 510, 516, and we've gone down to 493. Don't leave. Do not leave me. Okay, sorry if I am skipping, but yes, if you are one of the 492 watching, please make sure you're subscribed and please give this video a thumbs up. It's right there. It's right kind of there. Maslas says Thornton's chocolates must hire you to be holiday spokesperson. I have more of them. Yes, I'm sure sales of the advent calendar skyrocketed. As they should. Lou Guy donated $2.79 via super chat, and I know you've been trying to do more, and I have no idea why you can't. It's YouTube. I have no idea. So thank you for the $2.79. I know you've been trying very, very hard to get over whatever bug is in your screen, and I have no idea what that is. Sorry if I'm skipping again. I know it only lets you give $2.79. I really have no idea why. I agree. I don't think it's a big deal if Meghan chooses to use a different hospital. Josephine Young says, you are an honest person. I love watching your channel to learn about the British people. You make your country inviting. Well, thank you so much. PM Smile says, Margaret's son David, Lord Snowdon. A rumour, of course, is perhaps a possibility. Again, just a rumour, you never know. Who knows? Rumours are rumours. SC1964 says, too funny. It is indeed. There's lots of hijinks going on tonight. Yes, Amelia. About 5 minutes ago, I did have 511 watching. I think the hijinks has knocked some off. Lynn says, is there a way to watch The Crown for free? Oh, there is a way. Well, I'm not going to endorse any illegalities. Alicia says, have I ever met a member of the royal family or seen one in person? No, I have not on both accounts, but I would very much like to. I don't know. I've always said I just like a natter. I just like a bit of a chit chat, a cup of tea somewhere, and maybe trying on the odd tiara wouldn't go amiss. Finny Blair says, recently a gay member of the royal family, a lord, got married. He did indeed. Do you think they will revise titles for gay titled marriages anytime soon? I've spoken about this before. I would like to see these kind of issues kind of thought about in advance, so that if that happens, in particular with somebody higher up in the royal family, if ever there were somebody that wanted to have a same-sex marriage, I would like to think that there was something already in place for that situation. However, that's not kind of how things happen. Usually the royal family will kind of wait until the matter arises and then address it. I think if the matter arose, I don't think there would be any objections to making any necessary changes and coming up with a solution to it. But I would like to see something already put in place, because I know that sometimes one of the last things that you want is kind of a big fuss and a big spectacle made about you yourself when you come to this kind of thing. So I would like to think that if in the future there was a member of the royal family who needed that kind of marriage, that there would already be something in place, that it wasn't going to be such a big deal about it. That's my point. That's my comment. From my point of view, that's what I would prefer if ever that was me in that situation. I'm not in that situation, and I can't think of anyone in the royal family that is likely to affect anytime soon. But who knows? You never know. But I'd like to think that there was something in place already, that there was already something worked out, so that it just wouldn't be such a big, complicated hoo-ha at the time. There we go. That's just my 2 pennies worth, shall we say. Sanju says, yesterday I watched Terrorism, his channel. Samantha Markle claims in an interview that she has been threatened, oh my goodness, by an acid attack. I've not heard that one, but I have seen some of Terrell's channel. He is rather funny, I have to say. Amusing. Okay, just skipping a few. Nancy says, I liked the standing Christmas decorations in my parents' living room. No, the curly thing wasn't standing. It's hanging. It's on a hook. If you can imagine, it's like a wicker spiral, and it collapses down like that. and you hang it on a beam. Well, we hang it from a beam, and it drops down. So it's a hanging decoration, not a standing. And I have never seen one since, and I've been looking for one for my house. That one was purchased in the mid-90s, I do believe. I have never seen one since. If you know of one, let me know. I will be buying one. Amelia Grosvenor says, do you enjoy tea time? I do indeed. And I do like tea of an evening with treats and Thornton's truffles, and if I can, a little bit of cake. Although I do need to go to the gym, I have to say. I am considering joining a gym. I had a 3-day pass yesterday, and I really enjoyed my swimming and luxuriating in the jacuzzi. Would I ever consider having former royal staff as guests on my channel? I would love any old guest. Do you know what? It's really, really hard for me to collab with anyone. You see all these YouTubers in America and in the UK collabing with their counterparts. I hardly have a counterpart. I think the nearest I probably have is probably Terrell from Terrellism. I just don't have anybody to collaborate with, which is quite odd. The only things I could collaborate with is maybe businesses, maybe the Royal Collection Trust, maybe English Heritage. But certainly, if there was any former royal staff that wanted to have a chat, I have a pot of tea. And I think I've made it to the bottom of the comments. My goodness. Lynn says, I thought the curly decoration was made as a banister decoration. No, it's a purpose-made hanging spiral, and we wrapped 2 garlands, green fake garlands, around it, and it stayed there ever since. But no, I have not seen the kind of wicker wired frame anywhere for sale since the mid-90s. I really haven't. Sanju says, Princess Anne was the most hardest working royal, and Duchess Kate and Duchess Meghan were last. Well, it's a bit of a false representation. And I said last week, or in one of my pop-up videos, that I thought it was kind of a little bit unfair to include Meghan and Catherine this year in any of those lists, because Catherine was off for a huge portion of that time on maternity leave. And of course, Meghan didn't join the royal family until her wedding in May. So the engagements that she did before aren't going to be counted. And also, she's still working on what those engagements are going to be anyway. So I thought it was a little bit unfair to include those 2 ladies and compare them this year. Next year, different kettle of fish. But for this year, for 2018, I don't really think we should be comparing those 2 duchesses against anyone else. But the Queen's children and the older members of the family, shall we say, have come out top again in terms of engagements, number of days worked, number of engagements worked. But we also said that some of the younger royals, William, Harry, work with the Royal Foundation is kind of changing tact a little bit. There is so much work that goes on behind the scenes that we don't see. So number of days worked, number of engagements isn't a true representation of how much work goes into what they do. There is a lot more focus, as I said, on umbrella charities for the younger royals and all the kinds of different work that goes into that, which may kind of come out as less days worked, less engagements worked, but the focus and the work is still there. So it's shifting a little bit between, I would say, the traditional members of the royal family and the younger generation. I think there is a bit of a difference. So you can't always go on days worked and on number of engagements. However, if you do go on days worked and number of engagements, Princess Anne did come out top and has almost continually come out on top for a very, very long time. So well done to Princess Anne. Beverly says, I miss your tiara today. Nevertheless, you look very handsome. Well, thank you so much. Monolithic says ZZ Top. He's the one with the big beard down to there. Floss and Rug Pain says, yes, terrorism would be a great link up. I could imagine a video chat. But I'm having no A-word clowns on my channel. Thank you very much. Yes, no toxicity. We don't want any toxicity in 2019. There's going to be loads. Not from me, from all the fake news media. Blessings Always says, does the Queen award her children for their contribution engagements throughout the year? We don't know what she does personally, but in terms of reward, what kind of do you mean? I imagine there would be a thank you or two. Kelly Douglas donated $1.99. Thank you so much. You get a fan flap. Ta-da! Okay, let's just go back up just a little second. Okay. I think we are going to leave it here. Oh my goodness, we've been on nearly an hour and 45 minutes. That's a very long time. I'm going to leave it here. Now, I will say my weekly vlog is going to be out tomorrow. If you can make the premiere, please do. I really do love the premiere feature. It's an amazing feature. I love to share that weekly vlog. And that is one of the videos in the week that I get really excited for you guys to see with me, and what I like to watch. I like to be there while you watch it and type to you. That's what I'm trying to say. So if you can make the premiere, please. Oh, one more thing. I have another giveaway for my patrons on Patreon. So it's another tiara, and it is the Cambridge Lovers Knot tiara. My goodness, how can I even get into it? It came today. So if you are a patron, then you can win this replica Cambridge Lovers Knot tiara. All you have to do is to become a patron. The link is in the description of this video, and that's all I'm going to say on that one. So thank you so much for watching, and if you stuck with me through the entire hour and 45 minutes, well done. You deserve a medal. So if you haven't already, please give this video a big old thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, because sometimes it works and it notifies you. I don't know. Also, please make sure that you are subscribed to the channel. And there's an extra reason for that, which I will tell you in my weekly vlog. So from me, until next week, goodbye.